What if I told you that the universe might not be an empty, lifeless place, but something far more unsettling? What if space itself is not just a backdrop where stars and galaxies exist, but a system that behaves like a mind, processing information, reacting, evolving? Right now, as you watch this video, trillions of particles are moving in perfect coordination across the cosmos. And some scientists are starting to ask a question that sounds more like philosophy than physics. What if the universe is not dead, but aware? For centuries, humans believed the universe was mechanical, predictable, cold, a giant clockwork machine that started ticking after the Big Bang. Stars formed, planets cooled, life emerged by accident, and eventually everything would fade into darkness. That story made sense until modern science began uncovering patterns that feel disturbingly intentional. Patterns that don't just describe matter, but behavior. Let's start with something simple. The universe follows mathematical laws. That alone isn't strange. But here's what is strange. Those laws are incredibly precise. If gravity were slightly stronger, stars would burn out too fast. Slightly weaker, and galaxies would never form. If the electromagnetic force were altered by a tiny fraction, atoms couldn't exist. Life would be impossible. This extreme sensitivity is known as fine-tuning, and it has puzzled scientists for decades. At first, the explanation was luck, pure chance. But the more we measure the universe, the more unlikely that explanation becomes. The odds of all these constants aligning randomly are so small that some physicists compare it to finding a fully written book formed by an explosion in a printing press. Possible? Technically. Reasonable? Not really. So alternative ideas emerged. One of them is the multiverse theory, the idea that countless universes exist, and we just happen to live in the one that works. But this raises another problem. If other universes exist, why does ours follow rules that allow complexity, memory, and observation? Why does the universe not only exist, but allow itself to be understood? Here's where things get interesting. In recent years, scientists studying quantum mechanics discovered something unsettling. Information may be more fundamental than matter itself. At the smallest scales, particles don't behave like solid objects. They behave like probabilities, like data. And when observed, they decide how to exist. This is not science fiction. This is experimentally confirmed behavior. Some physicists now suggest that the universe might be structured more like a computational system than a physical one. Space stores information. Time processes it. Matter is the output. In this view, reality is less like a machine, and more like a mind processing thoughts. Think about the human brain for a moment. It doesn't look intelligent at first glance. It's just neurons firing electrical signals. But from that complexity emerges awareness, memory, imagination, and identity. No single neuron understands the whole system, yet the system understands itself. Now imagine the universe in the same way. No single galaxy is aware. No single particle is conscious. But together, across vast scales, patterns emerge. Self-organization, feedback loops, evolution, observation. The universe begins to look less like a random explosion, and more like a self-developing process. And here's the part that feels almost uncomfortable. Life appears very early in the universe's timeline. As soon as conditions allow, complexity explodes. From particles to atoms, from atoms to molecules, from molecules to cells, from cells to minds that ask questions about the universe itself. It's almost as if the universe is driven toward awareness, not accidentally, but inevitably. Some scientists describe this as the participatory universe, the idea that observers are not passive, that consciousness plays a role in shaping reality, not by magic, but by interaction, measurement, choice, feedback. The universe observes itself through us. That doesn't mean the universe has thoughts or emotions the way humans do. It doesn't mean it cares. But awareness doesn't have to look like a human mind. Intelligence can be distributed, emergent, subtle, a system that learns without realizing it is learning. Consider this: the laws of physics appear stable, but they also allow creativity. Stars can form in countless ways. Life can evolve into endless forms. Cultures rise, fall, and transform. This balance between order and chaos is exactly where complex systems thrive. Too much order, nothing changes. Too much chaos, nothing lasts. The universe sits precisely between the two. That balance is rare, and yet, here it is. Some researchers now explore the idea that the universe may maximize information processing over time, that it prefers states where complexity increases, where structures form, where memory exists, where history matters. If that's true, then consciousness isn't an accident, it's a natural outcome. And suddenly, our role changes. We are not just passengers drifting through space. We are part of the universe's feedback system. When we observe, measure, imagine, and create, we add structure to reality. We store memories the universe itself cannot hold permanently. We preserve patterns, stories, meaning. Even technology fits this pattern. Our machines extend memory. Our networks mirror neural systems. Our AI models simulate intelligence. It's almost as if the universe is experimenting with new ways to understand itself through us. But this idea comes with a haunting implication. If the universe is evolving toward awareness, then this may not be the final stage. Conscious civilizations might rise, merge, disappear. Intelligence could become more distributed, less biological. Entire galaxies could one day function like neural clusters in a cosmic mind. And just as individual neurons don't survive forever, civilizations may be temporary structures in a much larger process. This doesn't make human life meaningless. It makes it rare, precious. Brief moments where the universe experiences itself locally, where curiosity exists, where questions are asked. And maybe that's the point. The universe doesn't need to be alive in the way we imagine. It only needs to allow awareness to emerge again and again in different forms, across time and space. Each time, learning a little more about what it can become. So the next time you look up at the night sky, don't just see stars and darkness. See a system that gave rise to eyes capable of seeing it. A universe that somehow produced minds curious enough to question their own origin. And then ask yourself one final question. If the universe is slowly becoming aware, what role are we meant to play before it moves on?